I hear go get the money, so I go get it. Hate means I do something right, so I'ma let him. Yeah, I'ma let him, yeah, I'ma let him. I hit the nail on the head, yeah, I'ma let him. All I hear go get the money, so I go get it. Hate means I do something right, so I'ma let him. Yeah, I'ma let him, yeah, I'ma let him. I hit the nail on the head, yeah, I'ma let him. Early bird go get the worm in the dirt. I could show you what I'm worth, my hands in the dirt. From where they look when you not, a hand in your purse. Hell if you think I'm last, last should be first. Go ahead and go feast your eyes. Chef and
Hello everyone, welcome to the Spot Real Talk. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
Thank you for joining us. As you can see, Tiara's not joining us this evening, so Ron and I are going to hold it down for her while we discuss Godfather of Harlem Season 4, Episode 1, The New Harlem. And before we get into the new episode, I think we should do a brief recap of the things that happened that led us up to this point. And we know that in the season finale and last season, Season 3, Godfather of Harlem, we lost Malcolm. We lost Malcolm, and that was major and tragic and sad and all the adjectives that you can think of. But we know because that happened, Bumpy decided to get out of the Juji business because he wants to be the man that Malcolm wanted him to be. So he swore off the Juji business. Bumpy joined forces with Chin. They became partners, and together they took Columbo down. They set him up to go to the Bing. Yeah. And Stella was in the mix. We can't leave out Stella.
We can't.
Because Stella is the Black Widow. And we saw that she got involved with Columbo, but
she had other reasons.
Yeah, other reasons.
Yeah.
Material reasons, but I think she liked Columbo too. I think he won her over. But there was that. Elise, Boo, Omar got caught up in the Malcolm situation. And so the three major things. Columbo goes to jail, Malcolm died, Bumpy gets out of the Doogie business, he joins forces with Chin. So in episode 1 of season 4, The New Harlem, it picks up a year later with Malcolm's death. And we see there they have a trial of the 3 men who have been accused of killing Malcolm, including Omar, Elise's boo. And Betty Shabazz, Malcolm's widow, is testifying. And she points out all 3 and is like, they did it.
And they were wrongly accused, I have to say. They were wrongly accused. And Betty, I'm going to have to give you the hands for, although I understand. Look, I get it. I understand why you did it. Somebody killed your husband, and they were closest to, I guess, you having a visual. You saw them. And as far as Omar is concerned, I'm a little cool with Omar. Last season, as you saw, he was talking with Clyde. Clyde was recording the conversation, and he put himself in a very precarious situation with what he said to Clyde. And so, although he did come around and wanting to help Malcolm and protect him, or at least seemingly so, I think Betty kind of jumped again a bit when he was taking Malcolm's gun. So, what do you think?
Not quite, because when he recorded that, he was playing along. He had already said that he needed to play along with Clyde to get, to get his support, like to protect Malcolm. So he was playing both sides at that point. Now we know way back when Omar did want to kill Malcolm.
Oh yeah, he did.
But he did have a, about face. He had some remorse, and so he was trying to protect Malcolm. What happened was, what Betty saw, and I don't know if I want to give her the hands, but what she saw Omar pulling the holster
Right.
out. And Malcolm was supposed to carry the gun and he didn't.
Didn't. Right.
And that's why Omar was surprised. But I think that Betty saw that part and observed and said, "Oh, he had the gun and stuff." Is what she saw. So it wasn't like she was mistaken, but with all the things that was happening and
Yeah.
how she described it, like she said, she was trying to shield the children. She
Right.
was screaming. It was chaos, and everything. So I just think she saw all of these men. She saw them with guns. She saw and she's convinced it was them. And then she said herself, she was like, I never trusted him. So she never trusted Omar anyway because he had flipped.
And rightfully so. I mean, and what I meant with Omar is, unfortunately, he had no way of knowing he was going to be recorded. I understand that. But sometimes your words come back to bite you, and you have no other recourse. I mean, he can't hide behind. I mean, if they were looking for that last nail in the coffin, that was it, that recording, because the recording doesn't reflect what you were thinking. It reflects what you said. And unfortunately, you played the wrong hand. I mean, it was just a wrong hand, my son. And now you're up for a life bed, and there's really not much you can do about it.
Mm-mm.
Except now he could have taken the 15 years if he had pleaded guilty. Um, I don't know. That's a hard call. It's a
Yeah,
very hard
well,
call.
Elise talked about it too because he
Yeah,
said he
that's what
couldn't
she
see
was saying.
himself doing that because he said he was innocent.
Well,
But on a side note, in real life,
yeah,
Malcolm's daughters have a case against FBI,
FBI, yeah,
NYPD, CIA,
yeah, yeah.
accusing them. So, just give credence to this episode that
And I
those
like
three
it, and
criminal.
that's what I loved about Elise. I mean, she was, I mean, she was all that in court, and she was not about to take not about to play docile like the judge wanted her. He had to sit her down several times and was threatened to be thrown out of court
Mm-hmm,
because she knew the story.
mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Betty just, maybe I won't give her the hands. Okay, maybe I'll take that back. But it's just unfortunate that three innocent men had to go
Yeah,
down for first degree murder
based on
over something they didn't do.
what she saw, like in that moment, it appeared to be, but now in this moment, we know what's happening in real life. So,
Yeah,
and
right.
for Elise, that was brave of her to even go there on
Yeah,
the stand because the judge tried to shut her down immediately. He was
exactly.
like,
Yeah, he wasn't having it.
yeah, he wasn't having. He can't
Mhm.
speak out against, you know. So that was crazy because even when she went there, you can see Betty's face. Like Betty was kind of like, whoa, at Elise's outburst and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's how the episode opened up. And then we move on to Bumpy, and Bumpy's in this club. The club is jumping. The club is doing all right.
Yes,
Chin
indeed.
is up in there, and Mamie. Everybody is having a good time. He looks like he's doing well, but you can see that Bumpy is still haunted because he's hallucinating and seeing Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
But his club is doing well even without the Doochie right now.
In fact, Chin said so. I mean, Chin was like, I thought you were crazy coming out of, not doing drugs anymore. But he said, man, this club is crazy. And he's enjoying himself. He's got his drinks, he's gambling. I mean, he's in his world, right?
He enjoying himself. Them two look like pals.
Yeah,
I kind of like it when they get along. To be
I like it.
honest.
I like it. But, Bumpy, not to jump too far ahead or anything
Oh,
like
you
that.
can you can go there because
But
I got a note.
yeah, I was down with Bumpy. Bumpy wants to do something for black folks in his community. And here come Chin, and he wants to join in and be a part of it. And once we know when they get to be a part of something, it's no longer yours, or
Listen,
you know what I
listen,
mean?
listen. Pillage and occupy. What I always say. Listen, when I saw that, and then when Bumpy, several times he came to Bumpy
Hmm.
during this episode.
Hmm.
Early on, I know you're trying to do this. I know it's gonna be successful. He was keeping it light at first with Bumpy, like I wanna be involved in this. And Bumpy was like, nah, he stood on business the whole
Whole
time.
time.
Like, no, he
Absolutely.
kept it cute. No, no, it's all right. No, 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 I'm gonna do this
Hmm.
myself. Then later on, when they caught Rocky Fiorino selling the Gucci in the neighborhood, and Bumpy's boys, brought it to their attention. Chin handled it, and took dude out, and then was like, "See how friends do? Like, see, uh, this how friends do." And he's once again he trying to appeal to Bumpy. Bumpy's like, "Thanks for no thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks for
it's
no
all good.
thanks."
You take out one of yours, but hey, it's all right, but
Right, right. I ain't asked you to do that.
I ain't asked you.
I
Right,
ain't asked you to do that, and it doesn't change that I'm still doing this by myself. And he
right.
was like, "I'm trying to do this for me and my people." And then before the episode goes off, what do we have here? Look, we know what we know. The
Right.
manifest destiny came out, and he was like, I'm gonna do it. You're
Oh,
gonna do it. I'm
I,
gonna take it."
I'm not asking. I'm telling you what I'm going. Look.
Oh,
Oh,
so
wait a minute.
we went
This,
there. We went
this,
there.
yeah,
We
we
taking
went there.
Greenland
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bama.
This my thing, and now you're gonna tell me what you gonna do with my thing, and then he was right the whole time because if you let him in,
I, what did I say? Taking Panama and Greenland. That's what I heard when I heard that. I was like, see. I was like,
and the Gulf of
and
America, you can't leave that one
yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like,
Yeah, it's
see,
yeah,
this is
man.
this is where we go, right?
Lord
And
have
so
mercy.
yeah, so he was like, so Bumpy was like, you know what? Get the F out. Get the F
Hmm.
out. Because he was like, it's your own grave. He threatening him over his business.
His business.
Over his business. So
And but here's the other thing too. Now and for this, I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now. So y'all, don't hang me with what I say because this is I'm just playing devil's advocate. Now, when Chance and Pettigrew, I
mm-hmm.
think that's his name,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when they took the drugs from oh boy who is no longer with us,
Yeah.
um, and here we got Bumpy. Bumpy's in a very precarious situation. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
wants to do good. He has a
Mm-hmm.
plan, which is a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful plan, laid out,
Mm-hmm.
everything, blueprints, the whole nine. He goes to the bank, and the bank is telling him, hey, that's a lot. 3 million is a lot of money, and we need collateral. And he now is being asked to collateralize everything he has. Okay,
Everything.
the kitchen sink included, and 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 that's a hard pill to
That
swallow,
is hard.
particularly when, as a black man, that you've risen to the level that Bumpy has risen to, and then you're faced with, I can't get a loan unless I collateralize everything I have, which
Mm-hmm.
means it leaves he and his wife destitute. That's a hard pill to swallow. Now, here's where I kind of, if you will, question whether he should have or shouldn't have. I know he wanted to be out of the doogie, but had he
Mm-hmm.
kept the drugs, cut it up, made the money,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he could have had everything he needed to do what he wanted to do.
He could have,
I
but
mean,
I thought it was honorable. I thought it was honorable that he was trying to do it the right way. Again, he's trying to be the man that Malcolm wants him to be.
well,
So
yeah, I know, but you know, I
and he
mean,
tried. Listen, he
look,
tried. He's trying. Even
look,
Mamie, she had to go back to that Bama Cyril that took her job. Like and I don't like that dude. He's so
yeah, he's
because even we find out that Congressman Adam Powell's hiding out because Congress is looking for
Congress was
him.
looking for
They,
him.
they're accusing him of fraud. They're trying
Right,
to
yeah.
censor him for fraud, so he's hiding out. But he did set up the meeting with her with Cyril, so she tried to show him his Bumpy's blueprints and stuff, and Cyril can't get past the fact that Bumpy said that Bumpy is a criminal and stuff. And she's like, who isn't? But he said something that was really poignant because he was just like, you know, the white criminals get away with it though.
That's what he said. I mean,
And I was just like, well, he was dead on about
oh,
that.
definitely. They can move on to bigger and better things. But as a black man, you are what you've been slated. And you can't come out of that. That's why I said, okay, Bumpy, I understand, hey, I'll gladly be honorable on Tuesday if you just let me do this thing right now. Because my
Okay,
thing,
easy.
right? Because right now I need the money and I want to keep what I got. So, hey, cut that stuff up, sell it real quick, and let's get about the business of getting up out of there. Tuesday's right around the corner, you know?
Well, yeah, I guess it would have been doing that, but that would have still kept him in business with Chin, right? Well, he didn't have to tell Chin because
You
Chin
didn't have,
did say he was
right.
like,
You
I
would
would
have
have
never
never
known.
known.
You
I'd
would
have
have never
never
known.
known and stuff.
Exactly.
And Chin even offered to, pay for the whole thing, which I'm glad he refused because
Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah,
nah, because it would have been Chin's venture and not Bumpy's.
exactly.
So that was crazy. But you're right. This loan is pretty steep because they want everything.
Everything.
They yeah, including Bumpy's name. They
Yeah.
want an apartment. They want everything up to 3 million. Uh yeah.
And they really got to get out of the numbers business because just like Chan said, in the Bronx, the government's taking over the numbers game. It's called the lottery,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what happened in real life. The government saw how much money that was being made in the black community off these numbers. I know it person. Anyways, uh, yeah. Anyways, and so the government decided, okay, since we can't quite get our hand on how it's being done or who is in the midst, so what they did was, which was smart, was they just made it legal, just like they do every time. Like, hey, they do it with drugs, they do it with everything.
Mhm.
Just make it
Mhm.
legal. So
Tobacco, whatever.
tobacco,
Whatever.
alcohol, you name it,
Alcohol, yeah.
anything. That's what they do. So if they want to get that taxation out, and it's all about the money. It's all about the green. And so
Mhm.
that's why I said with Bumpy, hey man, you were looking at a chance to do what you had to do and then move out and possibly and be free of it all. But you didn't take that.
Well, listen. I have faith in Bumpy. I have faith in Bumpy. I mean,
But
he had to take these terms
yeah, but
and stuff, and
nightclubs, man, they don't. I mean, back in
nightclubs,
the
and
60s,
clubs, gambling,
gambling, yeah,
and it's the timing and stuff too. Yeah,
yeah.
other businesses. He's trying to have legit businesses.
Well,
So yeah, so I have faith in Bumpy and stuff. So so we got that underlying conflict with Bumpy and Chin.
hmm
But then there's the conflict with Columbo and Chin too, because Columbo got out the Bing. He'd been locked up for 13 months. And we saw, like in the very beginning of the episode, Chin and Bumpy are talking about that. I'm like,
hmm
oh, are you worried and stuff? And like, hey, we know this man is gonna be mad that he's been sent to jail for 13 months. And sure enough, when Columbo comes to meet with the family, he's pretty much trying to ask them to go against Chen. He's accusing Chen and Bumpy of setting him up. Of course, Chen ain't owning up to that and stuff. And Chen is trying to cut him out the business. He's trying to cut him out the business. He also said like he Columbo was trying to still come after Bumpy, and Chen was like, "Nah, Bumpy's under my protection."
yeah. But now you coming after Chin and Bumpy, and while the Chin is with the family, and you ain't got it like that, Columbo. You might want to have it like
No,
that.
and you see the family.
Yeah,
What was you just saying about money? What was
it,
you just saying? The
the
family was
family
like, we
said
got a good thing going here. The
it's
money's
all
coming in.
green.
They ain't trying to hear
Right.
that. Like
Exactly. Now
everybody making money, you
yeah,
coming home on some vengeance stuff.
and want to
They're
drop
like,
some
nah.
bodies, and then you make it all, and then it becomes a big mess. And so I'm like, Columbo, yeah, you do definitely get the hands, but you know, but my girl Stella, man,
Stella. That's how I was gonna go there. I was gonna go there because
my girl Stella.
he went to see her, and what did he say to her? He was like, this is your fault. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you owe me
Mm-hmm.
because you were the one that lied to your dad and told him I came on to you and stuff. And he was like, now he didn't cut me out the business and stuff. So he basically goes to her and says, you need to go and make this right. So Stella did go and try to make it right with Chin. Chin ain't really trying to hear it.
I think Stella, we saw it toward the end of that tete. She had her own plan.
Oh,
So what she was doing was really fishing, and she had him hooked. She had Columbo hooked. I mean, she had him. She read Columbo from day one, um, from setting up the meeting with her dad, and
oh.
knowing that what Columbo had in his bad intentions.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yep.
and she just handled it like a pro.
She's
I mean,
smart.
look,
She's smart.
I gotta give. I was I was a little anti Stella in
Oh yeah,
season
we
three.
thought about look, we were mad because Sonny got killed. So we
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we were
yeah.
so
We
we
were.
were mad with her, but she is smart.
She's very smart.
She is a black widow because it seemed like the men that she loved seemed to die.
Uh-huh.
And but I do think that last season she and Columbo had a thing. I do think she's kind of sweet on him. She is kind of sweet on him, but she is trying to do her own thing. She wants to be a boss too. And you saw when she went in to talk to her dad and she addressed him, he dismissed the crew. He was just like, you like you contradicted me in front of the fellas and stuff. And he was like, you're a woman. And she was like, listen, you've been making more money than you ever have with
With
me.
me,
So
yeah.
she the brains. She the
Yeah.
brains. She getting her dad paid, and then she getting a cut for herself because she told what's the call? Like you said, Columbo, he set something up. He talked to his hitters and was going to try to set um Chin up. And Stella knew she clocked it. She clocked it and
And
she was there like she was on a date.
which one is the gunman? Is it the bartender, or is it the
Yeah, or
yeah,
the waiter.
or the
The
waiter? Which one
waiter
is it?
or the dishwasher. Like she clocked the tea. She
Yeah, she
clocked the
sure
tea
did. And
and stuff.
Columbo.
And he tried to act like she didn't know what she was talking about, but
Hmm.
but she peeped game. She called him out, and she was like, "Listen, if you really want to hurt him, she put the gun on the table. And was like, take me out."
Hmm.
He couldn't do it. He's
Oh,
like,
he
he's
wouldn't do
sweet
it.
on her. He's
Oh, he
sweet on
knew,
her,
and he knew better than that.
and he knew better, yeah, because the
Yeah.
family would have been. Oh, Chin would have gone off.
But do you
Um,
think Stella made in her proposal, um, toward the end, she adds a little salt to the proposal, a little seasoning, and that was, yeah, I want to cut off the top. So I
yep.
wonder if that's a mistake, if that can come back to bite her.
I think eventually her luck may run out. I mean, or either she's going to rise to be the boss.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
may end up taking over because what she said to her dad. He was like, it's 1966. Like,
Hmm.
times are changing.
Times
Like
are
we
changing.
saw, we saw even in the courtroom, we saw the Black Panthers in the back of the courtroom.
My
We
boy.
saw when Elise was looking back because we see that Elise is really no longer affiliated with the nation
Right,
anymore
right.
and
She's
stuff. And you can see her looking back at the Black Panthers, and I was like, that's where she getting ready to go next. That's gonna be her next home.
that would be something.
Yeah,
But you
that's
saw
gonna
how
be
they
that's
they
mhm.
they were standing ready, man. They were,
Yeah.
they were. So hey, whew.
Well, and because of the cause too, the
Mhm.
cause and justice, she feels that Malcolm needs the justice, and she believes Omar needs the justice, and the way they just shut her down on the stand, I was like, when I saw her look back, she looked over at Betty, she looked over at the Panthers, I was like, up,
I think Betty's
that's
gonna come to a realization that she might have made a mistake, particularly
oh,
with
mhm,
Omar Jones. I
mhm,
I think that, and maybe as soon as the next episode, I
mhm.
think she's going to have a conversation with Elise,
Yeah,
and
I think she's gonna probably be like, well, because she saw how passionate Elise was. So she's
yeah,
probably going to have another conversation. But what is it that you know
right,
that makes you so sure?
right.
You
That you
know,
know, not what you think
that
you
you
know.
know. Yeah,
Right,
not this is not your heart speaking.
right.
You're saying clearly you're saying you know these things or whatever. Or she also knows that Elise was Malcolm's like executive assistant. And she
Well,
was traveling with him. So she
and
might be
had
like, well,
feelings, and
what
had
did
feelings for him.
and if
So
he had feelings for him
and
too.
and,
That
and
that
that's why
too.
I say for Elise, you know, she was trying to. I think that when they have that conversation, she'll try to get her to understand. Look, I didn't want anything to happen to Malcolm. I had feelings for him as well,
Hmm.
whether I should have or not. I had feelings for Malcolm too. So I want to get to the bottom of who did this, the FBI, the CIA. She wants to get deeper into the grassroots. She knows it wasn't just these three little boys you sent up to the Bing for the rest of their
Mm,
lives.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And her being an executive assistant, she knows that Malcolm had conversations with her too.
Oh yeah.
And she probably would say to him like say to Elise like, what did he tell you? What did
Hmm.
what is it that you know and stuff. So I think too, I think Betty is gonna come around and be like, okay, you know, maybe they didn't do it and whatever. Because we see by the end of the episode, all three of them were charged. They were found guilty,
Guilty. Yep.
murder in the first degree.
Yep.
And Omar told Elise to pretty much forget about him, move on with your life and stuff. Cause she was like determined, like I'm gonna find justice for you and Malcolm and stuff. And he was just like I don't think it's gonna happen. My life isn't here. I'm gonna be inside. Move on with your life. So that
Well,
was.
I mean, it was the right thing to say, and I still, you know, because sometimes you think to yourself, if you were ever in a situation like that where someone accused you of doing something in particular that heinous, and you realize you didn't do it, but then I guess when you start to weigh down the evidence, not necessarily, should say the circumstantial evidence against you, and you see that it's not going well, and your lawyer's responsibility is to try to cut a deal. I don't know. That was a very hard thing to do, but to look at least in the face and let her know that he's going to. Well, I mean, she wanted him to stand strong and hope.
Hmm.
She was
Hmm.
very hopeful, but I think he understood the plight. He understood where this was going. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
because
It,
then it wouldn't have made any difference if he had done 15 years and now he's a convicted murderer.
hmm.
He would never be able to work again, or nothing substantial. The nation probably wouldn't have taken him back. So
Uh,
it would have been a lot of mess.
and plus, it was so high profile that
Well, yeah, that
that
too.
he,
Yeah.
he knew he wasn't getting up out of there.
Right.
Um, but before it even got to that point, you can see that Elise was really trying looking for everything to help because she went and sat down with Sister Sandra, and Sister Sandra was the sister that Elise helped
Hmm.
convert to Islam. She had a drug problem and stuff and got her clean. And she was married to Brother Clyde,
Clyde.
who
Hmm.
who um who passed away and things. And so, at least try to talk to her and say, like, if you can testify for him, because and Sister Sandra was not having it. She was like, no, her husband died. She was like, as far as I know, the last time I talked to Clyde, he said that Omar was on his side. I heard the tape was any other. And so she wouldn't stand up for him. So there was really like between Betty's testimony, because when you looked at the jury, like the jury really felt for her.
Yeah.
She pointed out the guys and uh Elise coming undone on the stand, and then Sandra not testifying, and them playing the tape.
Oh, the tape.
Like all of them were
Final.
toast.
That was the final nail, and I don't
Oh
even know
yeah,
if they needed the tape because
no.
they were so bent on Betty's um, uh,
Oh, they
taking
were
on.
done anyway, but the tape was a nail in the
Oh
coffin.
yeah, that was it. And in fact, you could see Omar put his head down and shake
Oh
his
yeah.
head. I mean, because he
Shoot,
realized.
oh my! I put my head down. I was like, oh Lord. I was like, oh Lord, they are getting ready to, yeah. But I think it was a good episode. It's gonna be a good season. We're gonna see. I thought about us, Ron, because me, you, and Tierra and Lawanda. A few years ago, we interviewed Chris Brancato, the
Hmm.
showrunner,
Hmm.
and remember, it was like after season 1 or 2. I think it was after season 2, and remember, he asked us what we wanted to see. Like, he was like, I'm going to ask you guys, which direction should we go and stuff. And didn't we talk about some of this
Yeah.
stuff? We talked about Black Panther. I
Hmm.
know specifically, I said, I wanted to see the introduction of Frank Lucas
Lucas.
because I know that that Bumpy did mentor him in real life. At least that's what I read.
Hmm.
And Lucas is going to be introduced this season.
Yep.
So I'm like,
Yep.
look, I'm proud. I'm proud of us
Yeah.
because
We
because
we we we
we
spoke it
spoke
up.
it into existence
The Black
a couple
Panther Party,
seasons
Frank
ago.
Lucas. No, the whole
Yeah.
nine. Because I mean, the story. Well, some of us are old enough to remember that story very well. So, so hey, I enjoyed it. I thought it for a first episode for season 4 was it kicked off well, and it
Mm-hmm,
brought us back center. And I just now I worry about Bumpy and his
mm-hmm,
relationship going forward with Chin.
mm-hmm.
And I think, because Chin, when he said you got to get this civil rights shit out of your head, I'm like, oh my Lord, if you
And come back down here with us.
come back down here with us, man, I mean, could you have said the wrong thing?
Woo! Woo!
Oh,
Like,
whatever hopes you
stay,
have,
stay in your place. That's what I heard. Stay in your
stay
place.
in your place, boy. That's what I
Yep,
heard.
that's what I heard. And I was just like, yep, I'm glad that Bumpy stood on business. So that's gonna be the conflict, for the season, the conflict with Chen and the family and stuff. And who knows, like, with Frank Lucas coming in on board, it's probably not gonna be love at first sight. It might be some friction at first. The stuff with the Black Panthers,
Well,
him with Elise.
yeah, because
Elise too.
when Frank Lucas actually comes in on the scene, I mean, Bumpy's days are very short after that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if we'll go that far. I hope so. I love to see it, and y'all need to stay tuned, man, and keep up with the Godfather of Harlem, uh,
yes.
because you're gonna miss out if you don't keep up with this show.
I love this show. You know, I know there's some dramatization and they take creative license with some things, but the fact that it's historical and everything, I love this show. My dad loves this show. I
Hmm.
couldn't wait to tell him, to text him and let him know that the show was back on because this is one of his favorites. So, since we're getting ready to conclude the recap, I want to ask you about the hands and stuff. I think you already said it. I think you wanted to put Betty on the hands list. I
I
don't know.
mean,
I want
look,
to put.
I mean, circumstantial evidence just to me isn't enough, and that's all you had. And Betty, you
But
sent
she was
three.
right there. This is what she saw.
Well, she
I
didn't
mean,
see them kill them. Kill.
she saw them with guns. She saw.
Well,
She
but
saw. I
it's,
mean,
but that's it.
in the heat of the moment.
I know, but my thing is, you put 3 black men to their deaths, really, and
I mean, but that's what
I
she
get it.
saw.
I get it. I get what you think you saw. I get it. And I get the fact that you had every right to feel the way you did because your husband is now dead. He's lying dead and your kids saw it. You saw it. I mean, there are no words for that. I
Hmm.
can't express any words for that. But,
Hmm.
um, did you seek counsel with someone? Did you try to talk it through? Did you actually see what you thought you saw? And if the answer is, I don't know what I saw, then you have to give some credence to, uh, you know, them being,
I mean, if she saw
being
them
innocent.
firing, I mean,
I don't even
listen,
know if she saw them firing the weapon because we never really got there with that. I mean, they could have, I don't know. I just know that, the way it played out, the way
it was hectic. It was
it was
hectic.
hectic, and the way the state I mean, the state had everything in their hands. So, you
Hmm.
know, they were going to do some time, and there was no way around that.
Yeah, and
But
somebody was gonna be the fall guy.
yeah, and that's all they're
Somebody,
looking for. They don't care
yeah,
about
somebody was gonna be the
right.
fall guy.
They
So
can care less who did it. They just got 3 black men. That's all they want.
I think Chin deserves a hand.
Oh, Chin get big time hands. Yeah,
Yeah, because for him trying to press Bumpy like that.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, definitely. In fact, until you do something more gallant, you're gonna be on the hands for the rest of this episode.
And to be honest, I was kind of blown that those bankers went there with that loan with Bumpy because like you said, they're asking for everything for collateral for the 3 million. They're asking for his stocks and bonds.
Yeah,
They're asking
everything,
for everything,
all the
and I
property.
was all this property, and I was just like, I felt like they was robbing them, and I know with banks you need collateral and stuff like that, but they also have done business with Bumpy before.
Sure.
So I was just like, you know,
What you should
I
have
think
done was
he has a proven track record. So I was kind of blown that they did Bumpy that way too. I kind of wanted to get in the hands.
now what he should have done was taken the gun back out of his pocket, put it back on the table, and say, "Let's split the difference. Let's split the baby here. I'll give you part of what I own instead of all of what I own. What do you say to that?" And just slowly grab for the gun. I'm
Well,
just,
he had already had this gun on the table. He tried,
yeah. And when
but
you know what they said, it's making them nervous. Yeah, y'all need to be nervous because y'all about to rob me blind.
yeah, he was trying to be a legit businessman. He was trying to be a better man for Malcolm and for Mamie.
Take,
Because remember last season,
yeah.
Bumpy's activities were impacting
Okay.
Mamie too. That's part of the reason why Mamie lost her job.
And the fact that she stood on, strong with Bumpy in terms of and I'm glad he told her everything. He told her what he had to do, and
Mm-hmm.
she stood strong with him. So, hey,
Mm-hmm.
Mamie, you definitely get game ball for me as far as that's concerned because you do
Yeah,
want him to go forward. Yeah, but
yeah.
but Bumpy, take the drugs,
No, no.
take
I'm
the
giving
drugs,
him game ball for standing on business.
take the
Stand
drugs,
on business,
get
trying
that
to be
money.
honorable and telling Chin to kick rocks.
Yeah, that
So
definitely, definitely.
I think Bumpy gets game ball for me.
Yeah, definitely. The Bumpy
Mm.
and Mamie, they get game ball,
It
definitely.
made me too. Yeah, it
Yeah.
made me too. Because Mamie she rides for her man. I appreciate that about her.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And guys, last season we interviewed Ilfanesh Adara, who plays Mamie, and we interviewed Elise too, and
Mhm.
her name is Antoinette Crow Legacy.
And go
So
check out the playlist because you will
check out the
find it there.
playlist.
Mhm.
Check out the playlist. You'll find our interview with Chris Brancato there, and also the interview with Ilfanesh and Antoinette. But I think this has been a good and robust discussion about the first episode of Godfather of Harlem. Is there anything that we should add before we shut down?
Nothing except to say that hit that notification button. Please subscribe because you help this channel do wonderful things. And if you go to our playlist and you see our content, you'll see some of the things that we do. And it's all because of your subscription and you being the type of spotters that just won't die hang with us on everything we do. And we really are appreciative of that. So hit the like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification because we got so much going on. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't even really sit here and tell you everything. You're just going to
Mm-hmm.
have to subscribe and find out for yourself.
Yes. Subscribe, push us out far and wide. Follow us on social media. We are on all social media platforms: X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Follow us on all channels. And if you want to participate in some of our discussions, we'd love to have you on the show.
Oh,
We
yeah.
cover.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
definitely. I mean, come on with it.
Come on, come on, come on. We're happy to have you on board. If you watch Raising Canaan, we cover that too.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
have a playlist with interviews with the Raising Canaan cast as well.
Yep.
So until next time, we will follow up with you guys and be back with a recap on episode 2 of Godfather of Harlem. So thank you for joining us and see ya.
Good night.
Look,
Bye.
back and I'm better
Bye.
than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can let up. They get not tired of me never. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. They getting nervous, I seen it. What I seen, you wouldn't believe it. They say they want it, I need it. Damn, I'm going dumb like I dropped out of class. Get in my lane and I'm going right past. I turn it up, watch me go to the max. You ain't it first and you know that you last. I thought I told them I'm coming right back.